Today, we're going to be talking with Nancy Jones, who is a renowned concert pianist here in Blacksburg. Nancy, welcome. It's so good to have you here today.
Hi, it's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, tell me, how do you become a concert pianist living in Blacksburg?
Oh my
Tell me your
goodness. Well,
story.
well, first I would say a lot of practice. But no, so I grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. Um, and I just always loved the piano from a young age. So I started playing when I was 5, and just it was always my passion. And I just started pursuing it really seriously from a young age. And I did all of my degrees, and then landed in Blacksburg, where it's been just a wonderful place to raise my kids and to have such a beautiful community while I go off and I play concerts in the U.S. and abroad, and always getting to come back to Blacksburg as home is such a gift.
Yeah. So you mentioned a lot of practice, and
Yeah.
when I think about a concert pianist, I think hours. And talk a little bit about that. Is it
Yeah.
every day? You have children, you have a life. About how this works for you, because I know there's a lot of work that is put into this.
It is, and thankfully I love it. But yeah, it is a lot of work, and I've always practiced from a young age. So by the time I was 12, I was practicing 3 or 4 hours a day every day. And then that increased in college, and nowadays it depends on whether I'm preparing for a tour or a concert or learning new repertoire and that sort of thing. And thankfully, my kids seem to not mind it too much, at least now, getting to hear me.
Right.
So,
Now, do you write your own music, or how's that? How does that work?
so that's sometimes I do write my own music. I certainly arrange music. Um, I like to collaborate with others, but it is fun sometimes to sit down and compose a little bit. It certainly makes me appreciative of these amazing composers as I sit down and try to write my own music.
Right. So you're not just a pianist, not, and I say just a pianist, but you also teach and you do productions and you do travel. Can you tell us some of the different ways that you work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm also a singer, so I teach both piano and voice, and sometimes I sort of moonlight as a mezzo soprano. I've done some conducting, opera conducting, and choral conducting. Um, uh, Doing music direction for theater. I mean, it's very cool in that way to get to have sort of all of these multifaceted components of my career. I've been really blessed, whether it's um, music directing at the Moss Arts Center, or conducting with Opera Roanoke, or singing. Oratorios. It's all really really cool. And then piano is obviously my first love, and that's primarily where I tour when I'm abroad. So
Right. And so talk a little bit about your touring, because I know that you've toured both in the United States and in Europe. Um,
yeah.
so talk a little bit about that part of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting, and it's so different everywhere you go. Last November I was in London and Berlin for a couple concerts in each city, and it's just always amazing, meeting people and meeting audiences and connecting, and just sort of getting to soak in the culture as well when I'm playing and sharing music in that way. So I love it.
Music kind of crosses all the languages, doesn't it? There's no barriers there.
It does. It does. That's what I really love about music in that way. No matter the situation, no matter the country, no matter what's going on, music, yeah, just it just touches us.
Yeah. So now I know that you are no stranger to challenges that come along in life, and you've had to meet some of those and overcome, and have done so beautifully. And I think that artists kind of do that. And I'm just going to let you talk about that as much or as little as you'd like to. We're looking right now at the social distancing, the coronavirus, that type of thing, and how we're having to work a little differently. So, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced and how you've changed your work or changed the way you work to meet some of those challenges, either presently and or in the past?
Yeah, that's such a good question. Yeah, you know, 3 years ago, many in Blacksburg know, because so many in Blacksburg were so supportive and such a uplifting community for me and my family during that time. But I suffered a very rare, debilitating illness that left me in a wheelchair and you know, bedbound. For about 6 months, unable to walk. Doctors really didn't know what was going on for a little while until I started getting specialized treatment and heavy medication and that sort of thing. And it was a really difficult experience because of this, not only the pain and the suffering and, you know, losing at the time my business that I had in downtown Blacksburg, that I had just opened. So all of this was unforeseen, you know, and there certainly are parallels to the situation right now when I'm viewing things in this way, that things can develop in such a unforeseen way, and suffering can occur. But I think a lot of what was so mentally difficult as well was just the uncertainty, which I think a lot of people are feeling right now. You know, and during my illness, I felt that uncertainty of where is this headed? You know, where am I going? Where's my family going? How will the world really be for me? And now it's, you know, I think so many of us are facing that at large, this uncertainty with everything going on, with the pandemic. Um, but you know what really got me through that time, as I learned to walk again, and I you know, doctors told me I wouldn't play the piano again, likely, you know, and I was able to come out of that, and it really was, you know, the love of others, the love of music that kept me going. So the fact that I wanted to be able to walk, to play with my kids. I wanted to be able to play again, even if I wasn't going to be able to play professionally again. Just, you know, every day I would sort of roll over it with my wheelchair, and even if I could just play a minute before I had to stop, that's what I would do. And I just kept building up and building up. But I think that, you know, there's hopefully some wisdom to glean, especially for myself right now, that I can use as a touchstone, and maybe for other people, um, that even in the midst of uncertainty and fear and despair, that we can, um, you know, pursue helping others, pursue love, pursue beauty, you know, supporting the arts, the creation of beauty, and finding that beauty and the hope even in the fear and despair, I think is what really keeps us going.
Thank you for that. And I applaud you. I watched your perseverance and your positive attitude, and how you came out on the other end and you did change your work to meet that challenge. And it's been incredible. And I know you're doing the same now. So talk a little bit about what you're doing during this particular crisis, and even more so how the community can support you. What ways can we do that? I know that you have possibly CDs, that can be purchased, and we can go to your website. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I am working on a CD project currently, but it's not out yet. But I do hope to have that soon. But yeah, I am teaching piano and voice online right now, which has been an interesting adventure, and it's actually been a really cool adventure to sort of start teaching online, and this is obviously a wonderful form of support, and so I thank you for this platform as well. Um, and I'm offering recorded accompaniments for singers and instrumentalists. And I'll be also doing some sort of live performances, and just, I think all of us are adjusting in a flexible way, with technology right now. But yeah, if you can, follow me on Facebook, my Facebook page, Nancy Elizabeth Jones. My studio page is Tempo Studios, and then I'm just putting offerings and things I'm doing out there, and I just hope I can bring music, whether it's education or performance, to people in this time.
Great. Thank you, Nancy. And so we will have those links at the end of this interview, so everybody can catch those there. But Zoom has very poor sound quality, but we still would love to see you play just a little bit if you would do that for us.
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to. So this is I'll play just a little bit of some Bach from his sixth partita. This is the Saraband. So I'll just play a little bit.
Thank you so much. And I
Yeah.
am going to encourage our viewers to go to your website. I have done that myself, and I have your recordings there, which again, the sound quality is lovely, and they are so beautiful. I listened to all of them, and I actually suggest they start their day that way because it was so relaxing and so wonderful. But
That makes me happy.
thank you for being here. We wish you well through all this. I hope that you get a lot of support. We thank you for your art and your work, and just what you do in Blacksburg as part of the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for all that you do as well. So it's been my pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you.